All right, let's do this. Hey, good afternoon. It is Thursday, March 13th. I am Rob, that developer dad, and we are continuing to iterate on and work through the edit form for the DM's familiar. We got change detection kind of working during the prior session, and rather than me continuing to debug and enhance and so on as I've gotten into the habit of, I took a break and derped around on my phone and drank some coffee and just let my brain rest and chatted with Claude for a little while and stuff like that. I did other stuff. So we're going to dive back in and solve a fairly minor issue. I think I've spotted where it's coming from. Let me share my screen and we'll recap. So I've added an edit button. That happened yesterday. And we can load any of the NPCs that we've created into an edit form that's actually dynamically generated behind the scenes. So I'm going to be able to use this for other things when I introduce them to the app. And you can see down below, because there's no changes yet, that my reset and save changes buttons are currently disabled. I'm going to change Alara Voss to Alara Vost. And we see that reset and save changes light up at least. There's no code behind them yet, nothing appreciable. So they won't do anything when I press them. Not a thing. Click, click, click. Oops, save changes. That did something goofy. But we'll just come back, and where's Alara? Here she is. Let's come back into the editor. None of those changes actually saved. So when I change Voss to Vost, and then change Vost back to Voss, I kind of want to see reset and save changes revert, because the values are actually the same. Or at least they're the same to you and me. They're not the same to a computer. And the issue here is that in our detect changes, we say fields.anywhere, field property value is not equal to its original value for the property path. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little breakpoint here. And I'm going to pop this over here and change Voss to just Voss with one S. And we don't really have a view of which field changed. And that's not great. So let's see here. We're on our main thread. Blazor client, DLL, game tools, main string arg. Where are we? We're somewhere in here. Edit model, detect changes. Edit model on field value changed. Well, we have the field here. And its full name. The property value says VOS. But the original values I see what's happening. The original values all contain that AI tag. And I'm getting less and less enamored with that tag because it's causing all kinds of problems all over the darn place. So I'm just going to let this rip. And I got to come over to what is called the generated property definition. Go to the definition. Public bool is AI generated. Set AI value, apply user edit. Const string AI tag is AI, blah, blah, blah. what I want to do, I think on the value, because I'm sure I've got a lot of this stuff actually persisted out in the cloud storage that I've set up. String value. Now we're probably going to get some grumping. Value equals string.empty. That'll get rid of that. What are you grumping about? Value equals value. Instead of assigning to here, is AI generated equals is AI generated. And we're going to expand this to a fully coded property because I want to do some stuff. We're going to return the value. Value equals value. And up here, I'm going to say dot replace AI tag with string.empty. And when I assign it, dot replace AI tag with an empty string. Save. Now, one more little tweak in here. If value dot starts with AI tag is AI generated equals true, and then we're going to strip that AI tag out. We're going to replace it with an empty string. So save that. Now toString public override now. I'm just going to return the value, the raw value. And hope that doesn't blow a bunch of stuff up. We're going to find out. We're going to have to rebuild and retest this. So open editors, because that, what we just did, could be a significant change with fairly wide-reaching effects. So what I'm going to do, I might undo that change in a second. We'll see. I'm going to just do a quick regret check. And if it's good, we'll move forward, and I'll actually commit changes. So we've rebuilt. I'll get the server running just on my local machine. Hey, that program guy. I'm writing in C# and .NET. And I'm just about to execute the app and do like a full UI regression test kind of thing, because I made what could be a fairly wide-reaching change. And I'm using C# and .NET and Blazor and all kinds of other background thingies. So first off, let's create a new character. A gnome, tavern keeper, used to be an outlander, nihilistic worldview, chatty personality, tan complexion. Let's re-roll their D&D stats a little bit. Python is a ridiculously powerful language I've come to learn. I come from a enterprise software development background, so I've really focused on more back-end compiled software, so on and so forth. But I've tire kicked Python a little bit, and at least in terms of string manipulation, matrix transformations, it seems to be the big player in terms of working with generative AI and machine learning and so on and so forth. I really believe that Python's got its place, but coming from that enterprise software background, I am exceptionally nervous about having interpreted code that sits on the file system in clear text format on the server. I've got concerns about how secure that actually is. So I don't like doing things like using or wrapping my Python stuff in, say, a Flask API or a Fast API or what have you, and then just pushing that out to the live internet. I want the stuff that is internet facing, at least the things that need to be secured, I want those to be compiled. But maybe that's just me being an old man. So we've got Fizzle Twinklefoot. We've got all that. Those little AI tags are gone. Edit NPC. Here we go. Good stuff. I want to go back to the list. We've still got all of these AI tags on here, but that's okay. I'll look at how those are being bound later on, because it's not relevant to the scope of work I'm trying to do right now. So the edit form. So we've got Fizzle Twinklefoot. My reset and save changes buttons are both disabled. Cancel, of course, I can go back into the editor. And let's change Twinklefoot to Twinkle. Well, we hit our breakpoint. I'm just going to get rid of that for the time being because I don't need it. And we'll continue running and bring my browser back. Twinkle toes. All right, so we've detected that it's changed. Now I'm going to take Twinkle toes and turn it back into Twinkle foot. And because the form fields are as they are, we've got that fixed. Take care of yourself, that program guy. Thanks for stopping in. I'll see you again. All right, so we've got that working. Beautiful. Let's talk to Claude. Okay. Issue number 1 has been resolved. I've got some cleanup work to do to compensate, account for the changes I've made in the generated property class to make sure things are rendering the way I want them. But when I change when I make a change on the edit form, then manually undo that change to give the field its original value. The has changes correctly evaluates to false now. Sweet. Let's get into reset. Do do do. Initialization logic into it shouldn't have to make any changes to edit model. This should purely be a UI-based activity. Let me attach the correct file to this prompt. And I can close townsperson, I can close generated property. We need the code behind. Here we go. Let's refactor the code in on parameters set async into a discrete method. Edit model construction that we can use as needed elsewhere in this class. That's about what I had in mind, so we'll do that. Flirp. Modify on parameter async. Off you go. Keep. And we implement the reset functionality over here. There it is. And we'll keep that change. Save it. And where's my on? Here we go. One question about the base dot on parameters set async call in our local override. Shouldn't that call be happening outside of the conditional block? Is it even necessary? component state, proper inheritance chain, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So all we got to do here, and I'm not going to bother because it's a one-line change, or, you know, we're moving a single line of existing code. There. I made your suggested, recommended change. How's it look now? Okay, good, good, good. Glad we sorted that. I'll rebuild and test. Where's my terminal? Terminal. Here we go. .NET clean. .NET build. Okay. Clean component structure, clear region organization, well-documented methods, clean teardown. Let's not start save until I've tested reset. This shouldn't take long. Three problems. I don't even have. Cancel. Wow, Rosalind's confused, yo. All right, I've rebuilt. Here's terminal. .NET run. Oh, what the heck. ls. Heck with it. It's configured to execute the server with a keystroke combo. All right, it's running. Gotta hide that. What even? Go away. There we go. Reload the app. Let's open up Finkel or Fizzle. Chunder bucket. Okay. Our reset buttons are lit up. Nuke that. Now a seasoned fart sniffer. Whoops. Living a solitary life in the sewer. The simple joys of nature. Nihilistic view of life, often pondering the futility of existence while engaging in fart sniffing contests with a local gang of goblins who just want to feel alive. All right. I've now thoroughly corrupted the story of Fizzle Twinklefoot, our gnome tavern keeper. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. And it looks as though our reset logic has changed. And that's a beautiful thing. Excuse me. That's awesome. I like it. Okay. I guess it's time to implement save. Laughter and merriment. Debauchery. Reset. Beautiful. Love it. I'm going to just pull this over here. Let it peek out behind my Streamlabs monitor. Stop the app. Well, not disconnect, just stop. It's behaving as expected. Sweet. The change detection logic we introduced this morning is pretty nice. I quite like it. So we've got change detection, we've got reset implementation. Our code structure hasn't materially changed. Let's get into the save routine. I've got a basic concept in mind. Let me get to the click handler in our code behind. Look at what it's doing, and then we'll discuss. Just a sec. Okay, so we've got our component event handlers, which is about where we want. Oh, no, those are the component event handlers. We've got our parameter properties, our view properties. Okay, here's cancel button click. Here's reset button click. And here's save button click. All right. I was having a thought. Pardon me. All right. Okay. Here we go. First thing, add a new private method called apply edits to model. Call that method in the on save button click. When it completes, we send the updated model instance to the on edits completed event handler. Need to make sure that the handler implementation in the create NPC page model is doing what it needs to do to be able to save the updated townsperson. Let's stub that private model first and make it a function that returns an object. Because I don't want to modify the actual underscore model instance. Okay. Let's inject this. And I want to inject that at the cursor. Boop. Okay. Just back that up a bit. Apply edits to model. Okay. On save button click. This is actually exactly what I wanted to do. Claude guessed exactly what was in my mind. Yeah, do it. Do it. Although, oh, I screwed up. I messed up. Oh no. Oh no. Maybe. Control S. I don't have any angry code. What's the problem it's complaining about? Is the save button visible? You're so goofy. Ugh. Is save button visible? I deleted that variable ages ago. On save button click. Boop a doop a doo. Doodle doo 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 doo. Updated model equals apply edits to model. We're good here. We'll return model instance rather than doing a full deep copy, because that's silly. Iterate through edit model fields, use object inspector to set values back to model, handle nested properties. Yeah. Yes, let's do that. I need to step away for a moment, but I'll let you come up with the logic that you've described in apply edits. I will be right back. Now, I'll be right back. All right, I've returned. So adding apply edits to model method. So we've got this. Modify on save button click. And let's take a look. So if edit model fields is null or the model instance is null, out we go. For each field, current object equals model instance. Path parts. Oh. No, that should be right. We'll see. Property info get value current object. Current object is null. Out we go. Current object is not null. Get type, get property. Okay. Now we're just dealing with a small handful of values here. So I'm going to apply this change. Let's pull the chat window over a little bit so that we've got a little bit more breathing room here in the editor. And we'll just let it apply in file here. And we'll keep property info dot get value current object is an editable. For nested properties. Now, where is current object declared? I am going to as object. There. That will work. Save it. I'm going to drop a breakpoint right here. And say, excuse me, hey code, in that part of apply edits to model where we're looping through the edit model fields, we should check to see if the field value is different from the underlying model. And if it's the same, let's just skip to the end of that iteration through the loop. Early exit in the loop when field values haven't changed. Already have it for change detection. We don't need to use object inspector. Hey code, we don't actually need to use the object inspector. We're keeping a dictionary in the edit model to see if, or to hold those original values, I believe. Yeah. field.property name equals, now original values is probably private. It is. Hey, code, that's going to require that we expose original values as non-private on the edit model period. What if instead we add a method to the edit model that accepts an instance of edit field and returns a Boolean if the value in edit field is different from the value in original values? Hey, code, that sparked an even better idea. Let's expose a new property on edit model that contains the edit fields that have changed. See, instead of looping through all of the editable fields on the edit model and checking them one at a time to see if they've changed, instead, what we'll do is we'll publish a collection of updated fields. And as Claude inferred, this will be useful both for applying updates to the underlying data model and change detection. So let's apply this. Off you go then. Off you go. And we'll keep. And we'll save. And then down here in apply to edits in our code behind, I'm going to save these changes. And we'll do this. And Claude suggested changed fields. I'm going to change the name of that symbol in a second. From changed fields, we're going to rename that to updated fields. There. Save. Actually, we're going to save all. Pop over here. And updated fields. And then excuse me. Hey, code, do we have to make any other changes in the object editor forms code behind to use the new implementation of our change detection on the edit model? Ooh, that's some really, really untidy stuff. Let's come up to rather than apply this, because that's going to get really hideous really fast, I'm going to come up to my view properties thing here. Here's has changes. Has changes doesn't actually need to change. Yeah, this should all work. So I'm going to save all. Let's bounce to the terminal. And .NET clean. .NET build. Boop. Okay, it's doing all the things. Goodness gracious, this is speedy. I mean, it still takes a minute, but it's fast. All right. And let's execute. Bonk. Now, have I got breakpoints? I do not. So, what I'm going to do, let's spin down to on save button click. And I'm going to do this, apply edits to model. And here's manage NPCs, reload, bring this over here. Let's mess with fizzle. Stands at a modest height of 3 feet and 6 inches. Tan complexion, curly pink hair that bounces playfully as they move. Their attire consists of a colorful apron over a simple tunic, adorned with various pockets filled with trinkets and tools for their tavern duties, giving them a whimsical and approachable appearance. They are never seen without a pendant made from a strange looking from an old set of gaming dice. Okay. Save the changes. So we're going to go into our updated model is null. We should have instance. We've got all of this stuff. I believe I updated the appearance. Description is a generated property. Value string, what's this? I don't want to look at the binary data. I want to copy the value. And I'll just pop up a note. And just paste-a-roo. Where is paste? Here's paste. Here we go. Fizzle stands at a modest height, blah, 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 giving them a whimsical and approachable appearance. Nowhere do you see any mention of the pendant I just added. So let's step in. Just a little bit of null checking for an early return. We're good. Updated fields. We're not quite sure how many we have, but that's because it's implemented as an IEnumerable. So return fields.where. Okay. I'm just going to make a note to myself. Look at edit model dot updated fields See if a yield return would be appropriate here. And we'll just step over. We've got a field. Our path parts is appearance description. Our current object is a model instance. Boop. We're groovy. Now for an I, we're going to iterate over the array of path parts, which is just this field.property path, appearance.description, turned into an array. Excuse me. And I feel like this isn't quite right. Property info, we have it. Current object, property info.get value. Our current object is now our character appearance. Good. Okay. Current object is not equal to null. Final property. Final property should be description. It is. Property type is a whatever. It's generated property. Get value. Genprop.value. Good deal. Our model instance has been updated to include this. So I'm just going to copy this value. Paste it into the note. And we can see here's before, here's after. Great. If on edits completed is in fact null, apparently. Updated model is not null. Teardown needs to be moved into here. So I'm just going to stop the product or stop the project because we know that our apply edits to model is functioning properly as we wished. Okay. So now we need to get on edits completed handled. Looks like our apply edits to model is in pretty good shape. There is one thing I'm curious about. in the updated fields property, we're running a link expression to filter the list of fields. Would using yield return here be appropriate, since we're dealing with an IEnumerable? Spelled it wrong. As our return type. Lovely. And yeah, you could call this pre-optimization, but honestly, I've never written this code before. I've never used the yield keyword, and I want to try it because I understand why it's good, but I've never seen it in use in the wild. And for a scenario where we're actually iterating over these updated fields, it makes a lot of sense to A, not create an intermediate collection, B, use as little space and use as little processing power as possible. I mean, we don't really need to worry about that all that much, but if it's an easily implemented best practice and it comes built with performance improvements for free, why not use it? Function F5. And I see my browser window in the background. We'll update that. And just before I make some changes to that character, I want to go find my, oh, that's the edit model. Find this breakpoint and just drop a breakpoint in here. We're not going to hit it because onEdit's completed isn't implemented yet, or rather it hasn't been provided to the edit form, but that's perfectly fine. All right, let's take a look at the app. We'll come and mess with fizzle sprinkle tweets. I don't know. Stands at a whopping. Oh, why is that happening? Height of 4 feet and 6 inches. True giant amongst gnomish kind. Why is it bouncing to the end? They have a tan complexion and curly pink hair, so on and so forth. Okay. Let's hit Save Changes. And nothing else happened. That's okay. I didn't expect anything to happen. If we go back to our list, we still see it's Twinklefoot, not Sprinkle Tweets and any of that stuff, because we need to actually handle the save event. Now, I don't think we're going to write that code this session. I dig it. Let's look at when stepping through my tests, I noticed that we've not set the on edits completed handler yet from the create NPC page model code. Parent component. Let's just stop the execution and I'll pop open the necessary editors here. So here's pages. We're going to need create NPC razor. We're going to need create NPC page model. There we go. Chat, create NPC page model. I'm also going to add create NPC razor. And I'm also going to add the object editor form. Let's inspect the code in place now in the attached files and talk through the things that will need to happen before we add this connection from task component to feature. And on Save button click, calling Apply Edits to Model. Changes are applied back to model instance. In Create NPC Razor, we need to add the missing on edits completed handler. We've got to handle edits completed. We're handling the type conversion explicitly here, so that's good. Yes, let's do it. Oh. And then I just remembered something about some of the editable fields that will need to adjust. Should be easy enough, but let's get this integration in place first. So that means I'm going to need create NPC Razor. Down here on the object editor form, boop, keeperoo. That's a thing of beauty. Save that. Great. Actually, no. Let's address what I just thought of, and we'll test them all together because the code change I want to make is in the apply. Edits to model routine. See that in your implementation, you proactively used a different code path for properties that are of type generated property. This is great. Now I'm going to come out to my framework concepts, pop that open. And I got to add the object editor form to there. This is great. Take a look at the methods exposed on generated property. See if there's a more suitable way to set values that are provided by the end user. The distinction between AI-generated and user-generated content. User-edited maintains AI user content separation, uses the intended API for value updates, preserves generation history. Let's add this, or let's incorporate this change. Keeperoo. Generated property does not contain. Eat me. It's apply user edit. Duh. C. There. I'll rebuild and test in a moment. I'm eager to see the whole thing working. I'm going to run one test and then I'm going to end the stream. good, bad, or ugly. And there are some detail-y things that I want to get fixed up. I'll do that between now and tomorrow. And we'll review. Notably, there's some UX things that I want to add on the edit model and the iEditable what's it and the user editable attribute that I think will go an awful long way toward making this really great. It's already okay, but I need it to be really great. Built. I have a breakpoint in the save routine, and I actually want to 86 that and put it back where it was. And you know what? I'll put that one there too. So let's run. As soon as the server is operational again, I'll refresh the UI, create a new fresh Blazor circuit, and let's come play with poor Fizzle Twinklefoot some more. Twinkle nose. Background description. Twinkle received their surname from their extreme allergy to pollen. Every spring, their nose itches and twinkles as the botanical festival rages around them. Save a change. We're going to apply edits to model. Path parts, full name, groovy. Just hit a breakpoint here temporarily. We'll come back to the next one, which is background description. I'll 86 that. Go. On edits completed with our updated model. Fizzle Twinkle Nose. Let's step in. And we're over at our Create NPC page model. That is a thing of beauty. If model is townsperson, we will recast the incoming object in model, which is an instance of type object, into NPC model, which will be an instance of townsperson, but only if the conversion will work. It apparently worked beautifully. Our current NPC is now Twinkleberry Sneeze Nose, or whatever I called him. And we'll save. And it should have executed. And here's Fizzle Twinkle Nose in the viewer. Will you look at that? We can go back to our list. And there's good old Fizzle Twinkle Nose with the changes that we made. We have ourselves a mostly finished feature. We can now create an edit form or an edit model for any townsperson and any other type of game object class that we might create in the future, because I don't have any others yet. We can dynamically bind that model to a generic edit object form, collect the changes from the user, apply them back to the original object, and save it off back to storage. We're going to continue improving this functionality and this feature tomorrow, and actually for the rest of the day privately. Until then, thank you for joining me. Take care of yourselves, and happy coding.